It's a nice, beautiful, sunshiny day. It is kind of cool. I think I might be able to work for a while with my sweatshirt on. So I am going to fire up the splitter and split this pile. And when that pile's gone, I do have a rack full here that I'm going to cut and split. See if I can get this all split up while I have time here today. If not, I want to at least for sure have this split and that cut. Because yesterday I did a pile that was on the rack that I split and then I cut, and I was going to split some more, but I got rained out, so I didn't get that split yesterday. But we are getting down farther. Basically, I have from here to there that I want to get finished up, and then my next bin will be going in here, and then there is this whole pile here. That would be a lot of campfire wood too, but I want to at least get my next bin built, and then I'm going to see how far I can get that out here. I do kind of have an idea of where about I want to stop it, but I think once I'm done cutting that and I get that filled, I might actually start tackling that pile there, and I'll cut it and I'll run it up in a pile on the concrete, because my next bin after is going to be there, and I think I'll make that my mixed hardwood bins. So I got my moisture meter out. So this was a cottonwood, the bigger one that I split, and it was pretty juicy, and it's actually overloading. So that's pretty wet. And then I did have one piece of cottonwood that I split earlier that was a lot drier than I thought it was, but it's 32% on the moisture on that. And then I had some box elder, which is about 26 towards the outside, and then when you get towards the inside, it is really, really wet. It's giving me an overload, which, I mean, I can feel it even through my gloves. So that's where I've been having my electric foot pedal. It is needing to be on something because it does move around, but it is nice that when you push it, the elevator comes on and all the wood goes bye-bye. Now, granted, if I let off the pedal, it does stop. Let off the pedal, it stops. So it does make it nice that a conveyor doesn't have to run the whole time. So now that I got that pile split up, I am going to bust out the saw and we're going to work on cutting this up. A lot of this smaller stuff is nice. It's really fast to split. This size isn't too bad, but then when you get, you know, some of the bigger ones like them last cottonwoods that I just did, that gets to be a little bit more of a pain. Big wood does make a lot of wood, but when you're using a single wedge, it's not as much fun because it takes a long time to break it down. But if my machine was faster, it probably wouldn't be so bad. But until then, that's what I'm using. Well, there we go. So I got another, probably about a quarter of a cord done, and I got a little bit of slash down there, and then a little bit of stuff I threw over here, and a bunch of sawdust. That sawdust will actually probably end up getting scraped out and go with the slash, just because it got rained on yesterday and got wet. But then I got a pile of bark and some short pieces that aren't worth boiler wood, so I will probably not clean that up today, because I do plan on hopefully cutting more tomorrow. I will probably end up getting this cleaned up here probably in the next day or so. That way that's all cleaned up, but I am going to hop in the loader. I'm going to reload the deck so that way it's all set for tomorrow, so that way I can split a pile, cut a pile, and just keep going. Hopefully when the weekend comes, I can get through the rest of that pile over there, so that way I can hopefully start building my bin. And then we can take this pile and get it scooped up and dumped in the bin. And then that way we will have a rough figure of how much wood is actually here in this pile. It is getting to be a pretty good sized pile. I may end up moving the elevator once more before I get that pile finished. So what I actually will do is I will crank my jacks down on the elevator, and I will swing it either that way, or I'll swing it over this way. Probably swing it over this way. That way it's closer to the wall that I'll end up scooping the last of it up on. So, but that's where I'm at with that. I do have a little bit of space here yet in this tote for a couple pieces for some boiler wood, or I may just level this one off and go set it over there, and then I'll set the other one on top of it and set two empty ones in here, so that way that's all set too. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.